Gotta be Nip. Let's find out which one of them punches their ticket first.
By the way, I wasn't fully informed, as I don't know exactly what's going on in the other stream. This is not the first 3-map series. It's technically the second, because Bleed Cag went to a third map slightly before us.
Oh.
But I know, it's like a difference of minutes, but still, on the final day of play-ins, this is when the bangers have decided to arrive. And Skyscraper, those two words don't often align, banger and Skyscraper, but it's gotta be between these two teams given the stage. Starting out, NIP return to the Ying ban. Aside from Bank,
the Thermite ban.
Nah.
Crest banned Thermite on Skyscraper, and they're starting on offense.
Nah, shut up. I'm talking right now. I gotta talk about this. If you don't know the power of the Thermite ban on Sky, that's the ban when you say, that's like Babe Ruth calling a shot. That is that in op ban form, because you need that Thermite, or you don't need it, but that Thermite is so necessary for opening up like the Geisha wall for TN Karaoke and the Office Exhibition wall, or the House Single wall for Office and Exhibition. You can do that with other operators, but Thermite makes it a lot easier.
He's the GOAT.
And not getting either of those breaches makes an already difficult to attack site a lot harder. But as you said, Crest are starting attack, and Crest banned it. That should imply that they have prepped for this.
Yeah.
And they better show up if they ban that operator.
Most definitely. Wow, what a game we have on our hands here, folks. I'm so very excited, especially with the metaphorical bat point as Thermite is removed. And we're looking to see if Crest can potentially punch their ticket to the Swiss stage here and send none other than the Ninjas in Pajamas, an org that has stood the test of time not only in Rainbow Six Siege, but in esports in general for 20+ years. Truly impressive, but right now, they might be having to look to see what they can do with this roster as they send them back. Now, the beauty of this is that Ninjas in Pajamas is already signed on for Six Invitational. So all of this really is, at the end of the day, if things do end up not going their way, is one big learning experience. Now, my question is, if that does happen, what the heck do they exactly do? You know, there's a lot of time before SI. We'll just have to see, but we have to cross that bridge first.
We do.
That's the key thing. And, well, it starts now, Carter. Crest are out on the board. We've got our operator lineup. Let's walk them through it.
We do. And with that Thermite ban, you need the ace. You need it. Hibana is simply too small of a hard breacher, too limited in scope.
Takes too long as well.
Too long as well. You need that ace to open up these walls. By the way, for the defensive bans as well, Fenrir, very logical ban to pair with that Thermite, because Skyscraper, especially in the middle of the second floor, has so many choke points. So getting rid of those dread mines is a necessity, but at the same time, you can only get rid of one operator, and that means you either pick your poison, Fenrir or Azami. In this case, they pick the latter. Muzi picks her immediately. Muzi will have to be playing, likely in the mid-round, around that position in Drum, and thankfully, with those aces, they use the trick, they make the wall soft.
That was dope.
That is Rainbow Six Siege.
I love this game so much. That's the stuff that just makes me smile, like I'm back in high school again playing this game for the very first time. Frag grenades out, Wizards got one. Zero has one of their own as well, and it's going to be on to Muzi, of all people. A huge pickup, and something that we might be looking back on is that I don't know if he's gotten all those Kiba barriers out.
I'm not sure either, but he was focused so much on holding that exhibition position that with that nade cooked, the potential of playing Drum later on in the round is simply not going to happen. And the trade, Lua going down, they've already opened up the walls that they need to, specifically that Geisha wall. So even though the EMPs might have a use later on, specifically to open up the T wall facing this side of the map, that might be a bit more difficult, but this is still a worthwhile trade, especially with those Kibas now gone. Geisha open. Players playing there. They have a drone inside. There is a warden aggressively holding the breach. So NIP, despite losing the Azami, still know they need to hold forward and keep Crest at bay.
This is what's so worrisome about Skyscraper. We always reference Drum, Shrine, Dragon, this area of the map, because it's so hostile for the offense to try and clear through. The defense has so many different ways that they can set up checks and parameters where the offense just really can't get a good grip on things, and they usually end up donating quite a few bodies to the cause. It's something that's constantly been a thorn in the side of a multitude of teams addressing Skyscraper, and that includes some of the best offenses in the world. But now it's time for Crest to pop off. They've got got to swing through. What a shot from Eclair. Wizard missing the mark there, wasn't able to get the critical blow, and now the door is open for Crest.
Indeed it is. Pepino holding on a drum. Cons with delayed time, delay the push in from the AC. Eclair wide swings. Cons not enough ammo to transfer on the player in drum. That attacker will live for the time being, but a smoke canister goes out, forces the rotation from Zero. Still close with a shotgun, but DOP hits the pre-fire. The anticipation needed. Cons now falls. Zero finally picking things up. Psycho, only one left all the way on backstairs. They can win on time. He's not in their hands. He switches to the pistol, but it's not faster than NIP. Just barely taking T and Karaoke as Crest march across the map.
Incredible round there from both of these teams. I especially like that Crest. Again, we reached this point in the skyscraper. We're at that central hallway, right? But instead of slowing things down and being a stick in the mud, not really accomplishing too much, they immediately shift gears and they send it over to the Geisha side, start addressing a lot of these bodies in the different respective areas around the map. And here's the thing, if they have an extra 2 seconds, they more than likely win that. It's the craziest thing about this round is that Crest was on the precipice of taking this initial offense, which NIP looked like they had in the bag.
And in the way they did it, you talked about the late round, if they have a couple more seconds, but how quickly they dealt with the Azami extending into Office and Exhibition. They didn't get tripped up on that. Sure, they lost Lua on a different part of the map, but they said, all right, we need to open this part of the wall. He's playing an Exhibition. I'll safely nade around the corner, bank it off the back wall. We should be fine. So parts of the map that typically should stall a team on the attack, Crest still burned time on it, but got so close to the end. I'm really excited to see that second team, or eventual second team Karaoke attack to see what happens. Right now, it's Office and Exhibition. Muzi back on that Azami. Crest, where will they go? Will it be direct? They'll likely rotate over to the backside later on. Let's see what they do.
So many bodies from NIP over on the west side. Reinforcements and hatches open, as well as some verticality to tag along over there, trying to assist them with the potentiality of somebody moving in down low. That does end up coming through. Player does have to at least get rid of this single panel here, and they're going to continue to use that Selma trick to be able to soften up these walls and break things down with some soft breaching. TOP will open that up, and they will continue on their tirade here over on the far side.
Consistently able to open up those walls, find easy entrances into the building, or at least angles into the building. Whenever you open up that single panel, usually you need to rotate later on in the round, but this is Crest's secret. This is Crest's way to compensate for the Thermite ban, but to still keep pace on their attacks. Siren Echo holding passively outside of Shrine, or Terrace, excuse me. Hoping the Legion rotates in front, or somebody on the other side of the map by Team Karaoke rotates in front of him. Nobody just yet, but he's playing the patient game. This is not something that's going to pay off the next 5 seconds necessarily. It's something that needs to pay off with time.
The human Claymore. Works out. You need somebody to cover these pivotal locations like this window. This is something we see hop down on a lot. Pino is expecting the aggressive tendency, and he'll get it. The super shorty on Legion. That gun is pretty good, especially with how consistent shotguns are now, and Ninjas in Pajamas are going to kill practically all of Crest. Whiskey has such little HP, all with that interaction from the Legion, and yeah, Pino finding so much success with that secondary little shotty.
Able to take down one attacker, now Zero and Whiskey. His teammate on 1 HP and Diffuser a world away on the house stairs. Whereas T and Karaoke was close and needing a few minor changes. It's just not happening in round 2 on Office Exhibition.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, Whiskey finished off, and you can see Zero shake his head. Say, all right, I guess I'm sitting in reception for the next 50 seconds.
A metaphorical timeout. Is they will sit here and more than likely talk about what the heck is going to be going on for the remainder of these offenses. But this is honestly what we expected when we walked into Skyscraper. So honestly, I'm not sweating for either side right now. There's some potential that NIP could just clean clock and take 6 rounds and make it really impossible for Crest to try and come back on their defensive end. But there's also some potential for them to make some big adjustments. We've seen Crest constantly make some pretty positive strides towards success after losing a couple of rounds up to NIP. I just hope that it doesn't get too far down the line before we see that again.
After winning this bomb site, unless Zero decides to, I'm gonna cheat or something, just kill everyone instantly, but
he just starts just floating through the sky.
Yeah, barring him literally just doing something insane. There's the round, 2-0. This is the time where, similar to Oregon, tertiary bomb sites, all right, this is where you got a chance. Barbecue is, I mean, barbecue's not the same as like meeting kitchen or kitchen dining on Oregon. Barbecue's still a very solid site, especially if you can hold the upstairs geisha position. But as Crest have shown, they don't need the thermite. They can open those walls very easily and move on with the rest of their clear. Now, complexifying it has still been a little difficult as office exhibition right there. I mean, you open up the house wall, you then rotate to the other side of the map. Kitchen barbecue, assuming that is where NIP go, is, by the way, the bedroom side is really, really bad, so they shouldn't go to it. And indeed, NIP go to barbecue. They do need to hit that rotation later on in the round. Once they clear out the geisha wall, either rotate on backstairs, rotate through office exhibition, something like that. But they need to add a second dimension, and that so far has been the problem for Crest.
The random shot at Master Bedroom was honestly needed. I hate that side.
It's not random, it's warranted.
It's warranted.
It's like, dude, Skyscraper is so funny because it's got two, like, just because of the way the map works, two of the most annoying to attack sites in the game. The barbecue's not annoying, but it's still good for the defense. And then you just have hell. Yeah,
this absolute dog site that you can't do anything
in the
with.
game.
It's like, hey, would you like your opponents to shoot you like fish in a barrel?
Yeah.
Play Master Bedroom on Skyscraper, and then tell me if you enjoy your time. Crest not going to have to worry about attacking that, obviously, as they'll be going towards Barbecue, which warrants a top hold as well, and NIP are going to respond in kind to that. We're going to have the Kiba barriers, this time on Wizard, as Muzi has donned the Legion.
Yeah, the Kibas will be meant to bolster both geisha and backstairs. There we go. A little bit of extension.
Never mind, he intended to do that, I guess.
It seemed intentional.
For some reason, I thought he was trying to put it on the window and just like miss, but I mean, makes a lot more sense to have it on that angle there, I guess. But like, if there's somebody that plays on that window, he's really only covering himself from the geisha single panel. But whatever, that's his setup. We'll see if it works for him.
Now he puts it on the window, and there's someone holding the rappel just outside, holding that position. Down goes the wall, opened up by the Ash.
I love free cam.
It's so good. It's so good that not with multiple observers, it's been so clean this event.
I love Lamp. I love Lamp.
Shout out.
Shout out to Lamp. My OG homie.
Minute 15 in. Now we need that second dimension as the geisha walls opened up. It'll be Whiskey and Tiopi to try to make that play. One player directly inside a drum, just on the doorway for easy exit. Now they push in off the back of that E1D. Pino holding down below. Crest not able to break in just yet. Whiskey's got two more of those EE1Ds, two more of those abilities to freeze the defenders inside of the site.
You can see all hands on deck for NIP right now as they're trying to slow down Crest's top take here. And it's been working swimmingly so far. Do still have that verticality to work with down low too to try and head anything off on this door that does try and boil over. We'll see if Whiskey can make it through. He will. Zero will be the first one to pick up anybody. It's going to be Pino that goes down. Wizard has taken some damage, but it's actually going to be Muzi that falls next. Will actually get his own. Midges in pajamas respond in kind. Wizard does have one right up the alley from him, but he'll end up getting taken down. Lua won't get tagged from that skeleton key, luckily enough. And now down into the 2 versus 3 for these two. Now make it the 1 versus 3 for Cons inside of Karaoke.
Yeah, he'll hold here as it's no side control for Crest yet, but they're resetting. They know he's there. They're so focused on the bomb site. Cons has been here the entire round, pretty much. Just sitting in this spot. There's one. He sees him. Diffuser dropped, but they know now. There's blood in the water, and it might just be Cons. One pushing the right. He's got his isolated window. Lua still picks it up. First attacking win. It comes on the offsite.
Well done, but as you said, it comes on the offsite. It was a pretty solid clear there from our offensive team. Is Crest able to get things going for themselves. It was looking a little damning once we were getting, slowed down over on the terrace side of things. It looked like NIP was going to be able to potentially eke it out, but then the bodies start dropping across the map. Crest with some really big considerations, although NIP are obviously able to get some of their own, but then immediately in turn, Crest take full control practically of that top floor, leaving nobody but Cons inside of Karaoke to try and thwart off their remaining 3 players.
Sireneko was just in the bomb site casually, little that.
Always a good time.
Always.
What an angle here from Lua too.
No, through that floor. Good closer by Crest. And now we go back to Team Karaoke, which might be the difference maker on this attacking side. Well, assuming they don't retry barbecue, it's possible.
Well, the key thing is that if Crest get one of the main bomb sites, This is going to be quite the game.
Yes, and I don't, yeah, that's why I mean the difference maker, not just in this half, difference maker for the game. If they get that 3-3 instead of the normal 4-2, even normal 5-1 is, barbecue's no slouch. It's not just a guarantee or an easy win for the attack. It's still very winnable for the defense, but if they can make this work, they opened up Geisha Wall so quickly last time. Did a better job than off as an exhibition, to be sure, of moving into the other part of the map, clearing out Drum, especially finding Muzi early on. That's where I think NIP might change things. With how quickly Crest were able to find the Azami so early on inside of off his exhibition, I wonder if they'll have him rotate back sooner.
Definitely see some potentiality in that. Some adaptations to be brought in down the line. Leclerc going to go at things in a much more direct route this time, not going to donate over to Silmos. Probably see those used for a separate wall to soften things up. Lou is going to move his way over to the Geisha window here. More than likely to stay on rappel like this just so that he doesn't get dealt with too easily. Obviously, we could have some hop outs, but you really don't want to go for something like that on that far side. That's a little too risky, even for Brazil.
It is where Lua died last time, though. It is where he died while Crest were dealing with Muzi inside of Exhibition. And yep, what do you know? The Azami not sitting on that bar like she was last time, instead playing far more flexibly inside of Museum or Exhibition. Either one. Tiopi has opened up the wall, and the Azami is in there now. But by this time in the round, Crest already had traded back that loss of Lua early on by taking down Muzi, and now we're just about to have half the round gone. And NIP have not provided the same opening as before.
Well, Muzi's going to get concussed and immediately bodied by Zero. That was a great concussion there to try and discover what was going on in the main office. And now they had to try and deal with things at the back of Exhibition. That'll start off with Lua. They've opened up the gates over here on this far side, but Wizard will try and slap it shut. But they still have one to consider when it comes down to it. They lost 2 bodies, and Wizard's gotten some damage dealt to him, but he might be the most pivotal piece to this puzzle past Cons with these smokes.
Keeping those alive. Guman's trip things up at the C4 Wizard. All of these options, not bountiful, not a plenty, but still viable. 45 seconds remaining. Crest have not pushed into Drum yet. Oh, but Cons pushes up, just tagged in the shoulder. A warning shot for what could come next, but not fully punished. His final smoke goes out, though. Whiskey will just push on in anyway, destroy the default. Concuss recognizes there's someone on the opposite side of the doorway, and so Cons will rotate down as a result. Wizard still holding Geisha, as he has been for the majority of the round. C4 doesn't find anything. He sees Tiopi, but Eclair wraps around in time. Psycho still holding on the top floor. Cons moving back up inside of Geisha. Does Eclair check the angle? Does he react in time? No, Cons with the spray, puts the diffuser down just again. Zofia, oh no, shot from the back. Tiopi finishes him off, but Psycho's got a 1v1. Tiopi reacts in time! Smokes him inside a T, and this was the round that Crest needed.
That was incredible from Tiopi. What a shot. He was full sprint coming through that door, and he was still able to convert that. The ISO'd one that Nip was looking for so badly, and it goes the way of Crest. And once again, Ninjas in Pajamas, they go up by 2, they go up by 3, something along those lines. And Crest start to understand what's happening with the map, start to understand more of what Nip are about, and they start to exploit them time and time again. Yeah, that was...
2.
There we go.
Coming off a win on T and Karaoke, NIP very understandably will hop over to Office and Exhibition right after, as that is now the only unimpeachable ground that NIP have to go to. And what a win it was. I mean, 4v1 by the end, completely shut down. Crest were at the doorway, at the breaches, at every single angle they tried to take.
Something that Nip is going to look to try and recreate here in this round, as they found quite a bit of success. Crest also having some semblance of control over certain scenarios when it came to this bomb site, but it was definitely all Nip all day when it came down to the important details. So now Crest with the ability to reinsert themselves into the map with a better understanding of what Nip's setup looks like around this portion of the building.
Hopefully that experience, that familiarity, not breed contempt, but exhilaration at the possibilities at what they can do. Psycho thinking about that Electroclaw double, that juggle on the single panel. preps it even, but now it takes the second, puts it in his pocket. Eclair not using, or has used one Selma charge. I think it actually might have destroyed that. I thought it was just like a prep, just a preparation, but Eclair's down to 2, so it might have been destroyed. Not having the same ease with hard breaching. Normally at this point, they've at least opened the wall, either a single hole or the entirety of it. A lot slower for Crest at this point, given the previous rounds.
Yeah, I think it's because they're trying to address things over here on this T side initially. We do have TOP over here and Lua. Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that, especially with you know, TOP on this far window here. They're going to put Lua in on the top of Black Stairs. This making a lot of sense, and that's where it is. Zero's over here, so that's why they didn't have that play happen over on the far side for the single panel just yet, because that's where the EMPs are, so they can't get too far ahead of themselves. You know, you don't want to cross the T before you made the pillar, right? So, unless you're just weird like that, then I guess you can, but...
Well, and it also makes sense because the big issue has been swapping sides or flipping, hitting that split take in the mid to late round. So if you know you can get the breach open, if you know that's going to be easy for the entirety, then saving that for later should be fine. Right now, though, I know there was a little bit of secondary EMPing over on that side of the map. Khan's first to go down. Sireneko finds him. That house panel actually still solid. The EMPs did not work. Sireneko out of both. But thankfully for them, they found Khan's, and Psycho and Wizard both retreating. So while the house panel normally we thought would be easy for Crest, that stays alive. But that part of the map, Teen Karaoke, that is unequivocally theirs.
Absolutely. But now the thing is with that is that they still have to deal with the entire middle section of this map, and that's where the defense really stands the most tall at. So Ninjas in Pajamas more than likely very happy with the scenario that's being presented to themselves, even though they are down at Khans. Still some Razor Blooms in play, and this could really give Lua a hard time.
That's the big counter for this Monty. That and the Razor Blooms, of course. Something that he's got to either turn his back or fall back out of the room to back off. Oh, that frag grenade just a little too far past the mini bar, but that's why he's got 2. That's why TOP's got that second chance, but it bounces wrong again, both hitting the rotate. So Pino will stay behind the mini bar position. Muzi also holding down Dragon behind that Kiba barrier. Whiskey might just be the player to open this up if he can find the right angle, find the right engagement. Nothing's giving. Oh, but no, Lua just domes Pino. Hello? Pulls out the handgun. It's a 4v1. Sireneko might be down, but Wizard's got to turn his attention to the bomb site. Sees one, but turns away. It costs him almost all of his HP. Not his life, though. Tags up Whiskey. Bomb goes down very safely. Sireneko finished off, but Crest just have to back out. This is such a difficult clutch for Wizard to win on such low HP. They know his position 2. It's more than known. House stairs. He's not moving beyond this in all likelihood.
We'll let him breathe. See what he can accomplish here. Those track stingers could even take him out at this point. That's why he's being so diligent about clearing those things. Fantastic post position here from Crest too. And, I mean, just a great round from them especially. Oh, the Super Shorty in a very similar position to what we saw with the Legion and the Escapades in round 1. This time shoe on the other foot as Crest will take the lead with 3 rounds in a row.
What do you do as NIP now? You've lost T, you've lost Exhibition, you've lost Barbecue as well. There is no safe option.
You go to master bedroom.
Shut up. What if they do?
What if they do and you eat your damn words?
What if
then they win it?
Okay.
Then what do you do? Then what do you do?
Hold on. Okay, if they win it, like obviously I'll be like, oh, I was wrong, shout out. I mean, it's a bad bomb site, but they might execute it well. That's possible.
You're a hateful little elf, aren't you? Oh, overtime over on the other screen.
Took my headphones off for a second. It seems Bleeder on match point and CAG might just have brought us to overtime on map 3 on that stream as well. 2 very close games, all with generally Asian teams in it, save for NIP right now. This region putting up a great fight, though Bleeding CAG, of course. One hailing from Southeast Asia, one from Japan. CAG's Japanese counterparts right here. Might have just won the half, too.
Dude, this is so sick. I'm having such a good time with this. I really am. I'm not like preying on Nip's downfall or anything like that. I really do want them to be successful, but I am a much bigger fan of really good games than I am of any team. So, and that's where we're at right now. Crest are showing us something on an international stage that just makes me giddy as a fan of Siege.
And NIP make their decision. Don't go T-Karaoke, don't go Office Exhibition. They go Barbecue, even though they don't have a history of winning it. They're saying, all right, the recency is just not there for either of those primary bomb sites. We'll try this one again. And here's an adaptation that actually I didn't even realize. They haven't been bandit tricking. I didn't even think about that till just now. It's an adaptation that makes so much sense, but we haven't really seen from them all that much. There's also no Thatcher present from Crest either.
No grenades for dislodgement on Psycho either.
No. So it might come late, even later than I realized. But with only those secondary EMPs, Psycho can land this, as you said as well. Crest, they don't run nades sometimes when they should. I think Cyreneko realizes what's going on, that it's no longer reliance on the Cade from NIP. It's the Bandit. Oh, Wizard. You don't need to push that far just yet. They're so struggling with this single wall. Don't give them away into Geisha when right now they have nothing.
Their only potential for this is if they get TOP underneath, but I don't think that they're even considering that. You can just go and buck underneath and make it unplayable in that single panel. But we'll have to see. Psycho is not going to get that. Did he? Did he? Can we see the wall?
I think it was
I can't tell. I legitimately can't tell.
I think it was just in time. I don't think he got it. No, he didn't.
He didn't. Okay, he didn't. That was very pivotal for the round, so thank you for going back to that. And we're going to get the wall open now, but they've already lost Zero, which is a huge deal for this execute. They don't have any other info op in tow.
NIP have fought back in the best way they could in round 6. Still a 3-3, better than a lot of teams get on Skyscraper attack, but in what could have been a 4-2, just based on the history of these two teams inside of these 6 rounds so far. This is good for NIP. Stop the bleeding. Whiskey being peppered ever so low, trying to melee open that Kiva barricade. Oh, the skeleton key. The follow-up after the X-Kairos, but nobody playing close on that angle, either on the left side either. Though the Legion is in a similar position, but the attack just is not going Crest's way. After failing to open that Geisha wall, they are stuck inside of Mezzanine. TOP finally spots the feed and can't even get the kill. Insult to injury. But a 3-3 is better than a lot of teams get on Skyscraper, and it could have been more, but it's still good.
No, it's definitely good, but we obviously have to point out kind of the elephant in the room on that one. Got to keep those gears rolling, Crest. You had the solution there. It was in your pocket. They just didn't consider it in good timing. They end up losing Zero because of that, and that just really didn't build up to anything that was going to be successful for Crest. But as you said, 3-3 on Skyscraper is nothing to shake a stick at. They did fantastic, and now truly it's up to Ninjas in Pajamas to produce something on this offensive side.
As long as those defenses are solid. And the great part about Skyscraper is we've had 2 maps so far where Crest needed to be a bit more aggressive on the defense. Chalet, Bank, you either need to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Be more proactive with your gunfights. To deny map control for the attack, or in the case of Bank, hold those extensions, deny map control. Skyscraper, it actually leans into that passive playstyle that they have, that they've shown in games against Clubhouse and Sandbox yesterday as well. So this is actually where they're more comfortable on the defenses. When they have that Azami available, they can just sit behind the Kibas, just chill out. So from what we've seen, this is where Crest might just have a good time, and NIP, a team that is already slow on a map that is so difficult to break past those choke points.
Oh my God. That can't be real. That's got to be a HUD bug. What? There's no way. There's no way. They got 1 drone left. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. No, okay, no. It's a bug on the top right. Thank the Lord. I was like, there's no way that this many were destroyed, but they lost 1, 2,
yeah, I was about to say,
they got 3 drones
that's
down.
Literally not possible.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening here? Yeah, they all just spawn in, chuck them right into the building. Souls just cleans up 5 more drones. Oh my goodness. But still, some of the drone game already eliminated from NIP, which is something that they're definitely going to have to be concerned with. Just don't pay too close attention to the utility in the top right, because it's going to be untruthful for the remainder of the round.
Oh, nice little impact trick, but 1 top, 1 bottom hole will be opened up. Eclair's electric claw trick will... I mean, there's no way to walk into the wall. There's angles to look at, but there's no way actually inside of the single panel from NIP. So that's okay for the time being, though Eclair even picks it up, says, all right, whatever, they can get it. I mean, they use like 2, 3 Selmas, something like that, and they've probably got no other hard breaching. So they're chilling, they'll rotate it over. It is a team karaoke defense, as you can tell. Curiously enough, no zombie actually from Crest. They'll make use of the Solus playing down below, over by reception at the moment, but we'll move over to barbecue later in the round to try and deny a plant into karaoke. Cons, by the way, on the Osa. That is often the signal of a black stairs take. And what do you know? Almost all the attackers are around that position.
Yes, indeed. But with it being so late into the round now, as soon as you start to hear the gunfire and the doors breaking and everything over on this side, very telltale sign of what has come to come from the offense. Exactly. You know exactly what is coming to fruition. So Claymore's here from Muzi. A usual check here for the window hop, and they've muted it. It's a mute jam.
That's actually...
That's so troll.
Dude, that's so nerdy. Like, I'm sorry. That's such a nerd play.
I'm sorry, Whiskey. They're just so rude for that, honestly. Psycho? Downstairs, Tiopi. I think he might actually have him here in timing. Good audio. Easy peasy lemon squeezy pickup. As Nip will be able to surge forward in the man count, although Zero has something to say about that. A Eclair will find one as well. It's a 3 versus 2 as Crest constantly in turmoil as of right now. That sub-minute is usually where we see Nip get active. Pino's got a good read on our friend Eclair over here as you see that yellow ping constantly showing his location. And now, Ninjas in Pajamas need a home for this plant.
Toxic Canister delaying even more time. So NIP, they've got the advantage, but one more Toxic Canister. Lua, oh, he's got to stay alive, but Wizard finds him. Eclair with the C4. It's just going to open the soft wall. I can't even deny the plant with that. He's got to take the angle, take the gunfight. Pino and NIP with a big first victory and one they needed to get things back on track.
Yeah, most definitely. I will say this, though, very awkward there from Crest.
Yes.
Yeah, some things that definitely could have been done from them that would have proved to be successful and could have shut down Ninjas in Pajamas, but most definitely did not end up coming out for them. Ninjas in Pajamas staying true to themselves and trying to get that execute to go off over towards the T side of things, set themselves up off the back of some very nice kills. Don't even need the plant to seal the deal. Just a very nice cross being held over towards Geisha on Kaid as the last remaining heartbeat of this squad. So far, so good for both of these teams respectively, but once again, it seems like no matter what, Ninjas in Pajamas has to strike first up against Crest.
10 seconds left.
And with a win on T Karaoke as well, that's the best start you could have hoped for if you were NIP, retaking that lead, winning one of the primary bomb sites, regaining that momentum, even after winning Barbecue, moving into this second half. Keep Crest on the back foot. Keep them fighting for every single round. Keep them when they need to make a comeback, not when they're controlling the pace. Office Exhibition next up. Crest trying to make this work.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Hold on.
There
we go.
Attackers
Bleed
must locate
move
and
to
defuse
phase
the bomb.
2.
Big
They will beat CAG 2-1 in the series. I was talking and I hear Parker getting loud. I'm like, all right, let me check. Boop, 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 boop. And what do you know? I hear Bleed move on to phase 2. So, the Savants of Southeast Asia, Reaps 96, Mentalist, that super team, it seems, of fragging capability or experience in the case Mentalist, going to phase 2.
That's exciting, man. It's been a long time since we saw Mentalist as well.
Has been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I do love my Fnatic boys, but been kind of chained there for some time.
Yeah.
So nice to see him get out of there and try and get something going on. I feel for that team a lot, you know. I still to this day remember seeing Mag the last time and be like, all right, man, see you at the next event. And I haven't seen him since. So yeah, pretty sad ordeal because I'm a really big fan of Magnet. But things happen, man. That's the story of the game. Times change, people change too. And Wizard, well, he's going to change the look of Whiskey's face for him as he's going to remove it. Whiskey now down, but fortunately enough, do have some mirrors up to play. Ninjas in Pajamas looking pretty solid so far on these offenses.
Yeah. Changing the outlook for me, at least, on Crest defenses. Able to find the opening pick 2 rounds now. Whiskey going down, likely in a secure position also. 1-6 at the moment, definitely one of the poorer performers. Zero and Eclair will try to hold down this position. Lua even rotating over too, just one defender on the bomb site currently, but everyone from NIP is over on the western side of the map. So no follow-up, they're not going to read into this and suddenly storm into the bomb site, and even Eclair will start backing off. They realized a minute 30, they haven't moved into Drum, they haven't moved into Shrine yet. We don't need to play aggressively. Let's hold back, pull back now, force NIP to spend 45 seconds moving forward.
Well, so far, I'm really enjoying the pacing out of Nip. Not really too harshly dedicated to their info game to where it becomes a detriment. They're keeping things active, keeping things moving, and propelling themselves with all of these separate pieces. And that's exactly what you want in your Siege play. So it's working out well for Nip right now. Another big pick in their way in the likes of Lua. Lua's been a little hit or miss here. He's had some really big moments, but also had some moments where you really wish he pumped the brakes just a tad bit, maybe find some success in some other means. But now Nip, well within their right to take 2 back-to-back rounds yet again to start off their half.
And Tiopi down below, at least in the previous round, left a lot to be desired on that Solus below. The clear on Cyreneko need to go big on the site, and what do you know? Tiopi goes down again, and the Monty spotting it. Claire lands the pre-fire, but the advantage is too strong. The lead is too great. The odds too dire. 2 rounds in a row now for NIP, in what seemed to maybe be a safe haven on these defenses. It's not going to be an easy game for Crest.
No, most definitely not. And really, it's due to the pacing of NIP. Their offenses are moving now, and that's the key thing. They're not just sitting here trying to soak up as much info as humanly possible. They're playing off of it actively, and it's allowing them, especially with this Monty, to get them into such a pivotal position to try and find these big kills and potentially a moment to plant. But they really haven't needed that just yet.
And a very necessary tactical timeout from Crest, as lost 2 defenses in a row, both on primary bomb sites, and it seemed to be at least an easy layup to get 1 defensive round, 1 to start, even if you don't end up getting a 5-3, a 4-3, even at 4-4, something like that, right? And it's just not happened. The pace NIP have set, not falling to the trappings of Skyscraper and getting stuck on certain parts of the map or failing to push in for a good majority of the round and then having little success when you do. NIP have completely overcome that.
Yeah.
In Crest, I don't think we're ready for it. I think they thought it'd be a lot easier than it was, and now
we were in the same boat.
Course.
We were in the same boat.
I certainly was.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is by all intents and purposes, this map is much harder to attack than the 2 previous maps that we have played. I mean, Bank and Chalet is like, oh, dude, I can do whatever the heck I want to on offense. This is great. You come to Skyscraper, this place is a labyrinth of death for the offense, but yet they feel more at home than ever, it seems. I mean, dude, if it's opposite day, NIP are definitely pulling a rabbit out of a hat or something, dude. This is just insane right now. But we'll have to see what they can get done. We have seen this previously. Like I keep referencing, every single time that we get to one of these sides, it seems like NIP grabs 2 rounds, maybe 3, and then Crest has to also get their shots in. So here's the key thing, though. It has to come right now.
It does.
If Crest doesn't get round 9, I don't know what to say, Carter.
I don't know either, and
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
there's an adaptation I like, and there's a consistency I'm concerned about. Back to T Karaoke, we have the Azami. Great. Love that from Cyreneko. It was lacking in the previous lineup. They decided to bring it now. But Tiopi on the Solus. 2 times now. Has been playing solo down below, and sometimes that works out, but NIP have made quick work of it. Both times. He's upstairs at the moment. He hasn't rotated down just yet, so we'll see where he ends up positioning himself in the mid-round. He's in a different spot at the moment. So I like, in the early round, I like the changes for that Azami. The addition of the Kibas, it'll make moving through the map harder for NIP and get Crest closer to, I think, what they envisioned NIP's attacks would look like. Alongside this Cade, if they can land the trick properly. But with the Solus later, that's where I also want to see adjustments, because that's been an easy pick for NIP.
Drone active.
Wizard is on an absolute tear, by the way.
He is, man. 13-4. I didn't realize either. Jesus.
Yeah, he's really been showing that yesterday was a little bit of a fluke and not who he truly is when it comes down to it, which is great because yesterday they really needed him in a lot of those moments and he was nowhere to be found. But today, he might be the whole reason that they win out Skyscraper, which would potentially send them home in this best of 3.
But a Wizard needs to show up right now because of half the round gone, and Pino's nades from below. Lethal on day 1. Missing right now. Tiopi instead, he's decided to hold on to Exhibition for a long time. This is a gamble by Crest.
Man.
But it's a minute 40 in. Tiopio spots one. Oh, it just barely escapes him. There's a contingency plan. Whiskey playing on the mini bar position. Call that coincidental. He'll hold the shotgun and stop Muzi from pushing in. Tiopi tries to land the pre-fire, but NIP are struggling. They're spending so much time. They've given up on this clear, actually. They've decided to rotate off Office and Exhibition, but can the Whiskey rotate back? Muzi doesn't see him. He's not spotting. He lets them both fly by. He's trying to play so passive. Lua picks up Psycho. Is Muzi gonna push on in? Pino certainly is. Yes, he finally finds Whiskey. Down goes the Cade and Geisha. A big trade for Zero, though. Actually, Tiopi inside of Drum. Office Exhibition control finally established for NIP, but Crest hold on to the parts that matter.
This is the swing that matters most right here. Tiopi must win out the situation. He will get the first one. That's going to be Case on the ground here in Drum. He will not get the second, though. 2 versus 2. Case on Muzi. He needs Wizards' help here. Wizards is going to be across over on Shrine. He's trying to assist with Lua, but Lua's got such good utility control right now. He just can't stand up, and he does! He risks it, but now it's down to the 1 versus 1. Zero Zero up against Wizard. Wizard on such low HP. 10 seconds remain, and he has to try and dedicate himself to this plant. He can play the timing, though, as well. And impact out. He sticks it. He gets the plant. Can Wizard get it done? Oh, Zero! What a shot! The fist bump before he even gets on the case. He has so much time to address it.
A key round when Crest needed it the most. The early round game was solid. The call was made to stay over on the office exhibition side of the map with half the round wasted. Always a little bit of a risk, but NIP rotated at the same time. They weren't punished for it. But also importantly for Muzi, only catching one of those rotating defenders, not catching Tiopi, who ended up playing close on that drum door and giving Crest the advantage they so desperately sought. Very much what could have been right there, and Muzi found that kill. That's a completely different round, maybe even match point for NIP, but neither of these teams just yet one round away from finishing the series. I have some tech timeouts right now, and honestly, that might be necessary as we're starting to get a little too crazy for my blood.
I need a breather there. I'm telling you, that last round especially, I had to take a little fiver there for a split second, just catch myself, because Crest and Nip, they're doing things to me right now, man. It's incredible on all fronts. Just some of the errors we're seeing made, some of the magical moments that are being implemented from both of these squads respectively. I mean, this game has everything you could potentially want. Heartbreak, defeat, victory. I mean, everything is just building up to be such a grand story in this best of 3.
And Crest just barely hanging on through all of it. Sometimes realizing their potential, sometimes just barely falling short, but still dazzling with every single comeback and every single victory. They've gone farther than any of us expected. One NIP's pick stayed alive on map 3, faltered at the beginning of this half, but after the TAC timeout, will finally get a round they so desperately needed on the board. And now move over to office and exhibition and try and apply those very same lessons to this defense. Tiopi also no longer on the Solus. He was also easy pickings for the attack down in bedroom. He's on the Azami this time. He is meant to waste time with those Kivas.
Yes, indeed. For Crest, pretty interesting strategy here. I like these rotations that we're seeing through the walls. We see a lot of teams usually end up reinforcing these just to make sure of, you know, potential rotations if things do get shut down, but it's really just an opinionated thing. We sometimes just see like a single panel there and then a rotation on the side. It just really depends on the squad, but Crest went completely around that. The entire area is soft, which is pretty unique. We'll see how that works for them. Ninjas in Pajamas now trying to address this map in kind, and Muzi going to be the first one to try and do so.
Quick control established down beneath black stairs. Nobody from Crest playing over there. So it's not kills Muzi is looking for. It's just early control to leverage for later on in the round. What will they do with it? Mute Jammer now activated. Geisha Wall opened up completely. Oh, Psycho. Lua felled inside of Skyscraper. It doesn't dismantle the roam as both the Legion and the Azami hold on to drum, but it gives NIP a path forward, a path towards victory in round 10. Oh,
Zero.
Taps
The toesies. Ooh, can you find him? Can't get the next one.
Happy feet.
Keeps tapping away.
Happy feet.
Make him dance, make him dance. Dance no more.
Reloading.
Pino won't be able to find anything with that frag grenade. Cons will try and meander around NT and see if he can find something. Pino will eventually find TOP. And now Crest, they're practically getting scooped out of their own sight. We have a couple of bodies over on the far side. You can see one in Terrace and potentially one over on the drum side. But Cons is just going to be able to stand here and constantly relay information to Ninjas in Pajamas as they're working their way up, as well as they do have that player down low in the likes of Pino that could hit a fast rotation over the house stairs.
Claire wipes his hands. Tense moment. Energy expended on either side. In the disadvantaged position, 3v5 and Zero Neko on low HP. Utility pouring in. He still has his Kiba barricade, thankfully. The Rotero drone's not destroyed it. Kumine in the hands of Cons, who'll have to take it out eventually. Rotero finally forces him back, and he's picked off by Wizard. Eclair hears one, trying to hit the back. And Whiskey 2 spots the Claymore. He's got the flank. One kill down. Only that one, though, as the Monty escapes. And there's someone to stop him. But Eclair moves in for the retake, too. Unshielded by the Monty. He puts Eclair on reduced HP. The C4 misses. Pino's where he needs to be. He's down now, but they've got the intel. Just 5 seconds. Can Whiskey find this Monty? Can he deny the plant? He's got hard pings on both different players, but not able to find the kill on either. Oh, and he's looking too far to the left. Despite the intel, there's no visual. There's only match point. Phase 2 point for NIP.
Truly insane there from Ninjas in Pajamas. And what could have been for Crest? What could have been if that nitro cell wasn't used in such error? That wall practically completely solid at the center, and he plops it right in front of Jaeger's face. He can't help him in the gunfight, Carter. He's too dedicated to Monty. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of that operator for the offense, right? Everybody gets so distracted with Monty, and they're like, oh, if I just kill him, then the round's going to be okay. And genuinely speaking, if he keeps that nitro cell, and that same thing happens, he goes for that trade, he can just toss that nitro cell right in that short hallway on the far side of Museum, and he probably kills that man, has a very good chance up against our Monty in that situation. But obviously not to be. Ninjas in Pajamas so very excited as they have reached penultimate point. They are looking to take this last round and send Crest back to Japan.
The complete role reversal, NIP now ecstatic, Pino standing up. What is normally a very stoic team, I would say, NIP so far. The
especially for this portion of the tournament. We usually never see this kind of stuff out of NIP.
You never really see that hype and just what should be an ordinary play-ins game, a layup to make it into phase 2. It was Crest earlier who were leaping in their seats, jumping for joy, how it might just be the Swiss stage in their future. Now it's them scared. It's them with nerves. The anxious thoughts of what could have been, but what is yet to come. Most importantly, Monty back on the cards for Cons. TOP back on that Solus as well. It's a barbecue defense to start, I do believe. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, NIP. He's centralizing themselves around this northern portion of the map. Won't be acting too quickly, just trying to disperse a little utility around. Going 6 will pick up a castle barricade, and they've spotted Lua up top. Might not know about the verticality, but definitely know of his presence. NIP most definitely going to use their time here to try and clear out this top portion of the map. Also got a Selma going off, which will be successful for Muzi as they get the castle barricade.
Cons pushes 4 through back stairs after that castle barricade falls. A cacophony of gunfire relaying around that top floor, giving a hint that there might just be a defensive presence playing up here, and indeed there are 4 separate players from Crest all holding different sections of this T karaoke position. Eclair just the only one down below. Gushion's out, reveals Sireneko's position. Lua finds the first, Pino falls, the very Zofia who revealed that information in the first place. Solus running around now, Cons moving up, ADS on shield unextended. Muzi playing passively, anticipating maybe an aggressive swing from one of the defenders. But no, they just push down. They realize there's no Legion in the site, or there is one. There's only one player. Cons got the diffuser, Sam. He's just got to push in.
But it's all a ruse. Look at all that verticality coming in from the top. That's the big thing right now. That's the beauty of the setup from Crest. Yeah, it looks like you can just go down, kill Eclair, and plant this bomb, but there's so much verticality created from Crest that there actually, truthfully, isn't a safe place to put this. NIP, they're discombobulated. They have to get kills, but they don't know where to get them, Carter. They have no idea where water is, and that's really the issue right now. They have another logic bomb to try and drop and find some semblance of information, but Crest are doing such a bang-up job of keeping things slow and steady up until this moment. Lua's gonna go down, and now into the 4 versus 4.
And indeed, Bacon's tagged up as he moves on in, just 1 HP. It'll force that case onto the floor. Might not go for a plant, so he'll have to back off. Only 20 seconds remaining, so little time to work with, and yet NIP need to savor every second, maximize every single move. Flashes go in, they've got control of barbecue. This is where the verticality needs to play. Tiopi's right there. He's exactly where he needs to be. Psycho doesn't even find the one player inside the site. Eclair goes big. It's Wizard in the 1v3. He's got 16 kills. Can he make it 17? Can he make it 18? Can he make it a victory? Tiopi's got simply too much intel. Crest just need one more to keep their chances at Swiss alive.
Man, how beautiful of a game is Rainbow Six Siege. the Solus is the one that's able to peel that back. They fight so hard to spearhead into the site. They knew what was potentially going to happen on that top floor, but they didn't have an answer for it. Solus shooting through pure wood, not even a actual angle made for her, as she's just able to decimate the planter.
Will it be that round 11 setup that doesn't get them regulation, but ends up getting them to overtime? If they can just match it with an even better performance in round 12, that's what needs to happen. Just this one round to stay alive and then a couple more to win. It will be T-Karaoke, as you said.
The fact that Wizard, you know, obviously Pino getting quite a bit done here as well, but the fact that Wizard is really the reason that NIP is in this game in the way that they are is so impressive from him. It's been a really hard-fought game for a lot of these players. Crest is no slouch, mechanically or strategically. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of things and things that, you know, I know a lot of players wouldn't even go for. That rotation over to get the Claymore and timing on Shrine, that's those things that are the intangibles, right? And Crest have that under their belt. And with an Iron Fist, too, it looks solid every time. And that even goes back to earlier on Bank when they were doing some high-flying things that you and I are both like, holy crap, man.
What is going on?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody would expect you to try and swing on somebody in square, let alone Muzi, and win it.
I mean, we've had a couple games, Bliss versus Wolves, for example. Bleed's performance in their group, even sure against other Asian teams, but still some solid performances. But I would argue it's been this game by Crest against NIP that has made this play-in series, this segment, these 2 days where these regions have the opportunity to make these upsets. This is what all makes it matter. The Crest just need to do it here. Pino flies on in. Quick control established by Khans and the rest. Eclair cut down as Psycho moves on in. A two-piece up backstairs. This might be play-ins, but it might be over for Crest if they can't recover. It costs a lot of HP, but Lua at least gets Pino. Uzi also hit by an impact grenade, now certainly on low HP, but NIP hold the advantage. They've got the high card, but when they lay it down on the table, will it all come up their way? It's all over! A Cinderella story in the making, but the clock strikes midnight and we all must go home.